Hi everyone, my name is Sherry Rowe Dirksen and I am going to reveal to you my painting called Exploding This Reality. So I'm going to talk you through it. Yeah, you see it's got a lot of golds in it and it's got mixed media as well. So let me give you a little bit of a background about myself and why this piece of art came into existence. Okay, so since I was a teenager, I have played the bass guitar and I've been in a few bands, especially in the 90s, where that's the sort of era I grew up in and the grunge movement was huge. But I've always loved rock. And I decided to do the Rocking Art series, which was a series of 10 paintings to 10 different bands or musicians. Now, I did this because I have a fascination with why are we drawn to certain music? And what I wanted to achieve with this series is to in-depth look at what emotions come out when you're listening to the music and you've got a paintbrush in your hand. So it was a really interesting subliminal experiment that really surprised me as well because I didn't know what to expect when I did this. And I am going to take you through this painting, which was, I actually can't remember now in what order I did these paintings, but this one was painted to the music of the British rock band Queen. So the whole thing is I would go into the studio, blank canvas, no preconceived ideas about what I was doing, and just put on Queen album after album and lock myself up in my studio and just see what came through. So do like a meditative practice before I went in, clear my mind, get out of the left brain way of thinking and into the right brain. Yeah, so tap into the creative hemisphere of my brain, switch off the practical and the preconceived ideas, and just get into that state. And this is what came out. And the interesting thing about this, I mean, I've loved Queen since I was, I think, probably about 13. Um, so for me, what came out was symmetry, patterns. So you can see it is just like a blurb of color and eccentricities. And what came up while I was doing these paintings is little like phrases would pop into my head. So I quickly squiggle it down on the side of the canvas. And what came up was flowering consciousness. So flowering consciousness came up, symmetry came up, interconnected, a sense of being interconnected, balance and healing came up. So it's very interesting things that came up. Um, Whether this is subliminal messaging in Queen's music or just me interpreting something, it's probably a bit of both. It's just very interesting because that came up. Positive discharge, creative energy. Now that's like for me an obvious one with Queen because they really did push boundaries with their music, and creative energy I love because it just really has that verve in their music. It's just like this amazing spontaneous eruption of sound. So for me, like, I suppose positive discharge could also be like a sort of positive eruption. Like they just had a sound that was their own, which was amazing. What also came up was balancing of the female and the male, so the feminine and the masculine balancing, which is also interesting. Obviously, bearing in mind that Freddie was bisexual, so that was quite interesting that that came up. Sexual energy also came up, which is like not everything you know when you think sexual energy, it's not about the act itself, it's about the universal energy. Queen has got this universal sound that is just like it just hits the chord. You know, the universe is universe, one verse, one sound, one vision. And the last thing that came up was dark strings, which was very interesting because when I sort of went more into that, it's about the woven codes of the matrix. So there's a lot of theory that we are living in a matrix. And of course, matrix is the Latin word for womb. So in a way, we're living in this womb of creation. And the last thing that came up was these woven codes of the matrix. So that was interesting. So we've got sexual energy in there, we've got balancing of the masculine and feminine, we've got positive discharge, interconnected, flowering consciousness, symmetry, and just a whole bunch of creative explosions, which is why this piece is called Exploding This Reality. And I hope that makes sense to you. Those are the emotions behind this piece and why it's just such a colorful mess. It's a hot, colorful mess. You can still get this original piece of art at my gallery at Saatchi Art. I will have the link below in the description and in the pinned comment section. So please do go check it out. I've also got prints available in all different materials like canvas prints and metal prints and fine art paper prints. So if prints are more your thing, it's all available at my gallery. Please do subscribe and hit the follow button, the bell, that'll give you notifications when I post new videos. And if you're more interested in physically getting your hands dirty with paint and getting your creative flow going, I've got a ton of art tutorials. I'll also link that below. So see you in the next one.